Good Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this hump day. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's entertainment spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with best-selling author Sharon M. Draper discussing her new book, Out of My Heart. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Wednesday headlines. In national news, Pfizer asks FDA to okay COVID-19 booster shots for all adults. Pfizer asked U.S. regulators Tuesday to allow boosters of its COVID-19 vaccine for anyone 18 or older, a step that comes amid concern about increased spread of the coronavirus with holiday travel and gatherings. Older Americans and other groups particularly vulnerable to the virus have had access to a third dose of the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine since September, but the Food and Drug Administration has said it would move quickly to expand boosters to younger ages if warranted. Pfizer is submitting early results of a booster study in 10,000 people to make its case that it's time to further expand the booster campaign. While all three vaccines used in the U.S. continue to offer strong protection against severe COVID-19 illness and death, the shot's effectiveness against milder infection can wane over time. Pfizer's new study concluded a booster could restore protection against symptomatic infection to about 95%, even as the extra contagious Delta variant was surging. Side effects were similar to those seen with the company's first two shots. A median of 11 months after their last Pfizer vaccination, trial participants were given either a third dose or a dummy shot. Researchers tracked any infections that occurred at least a week later, and so far have counted 5 cases of symptomatic COVID-19 among booster recipients compared to 109 cases among people who got dummy shots. The Biden administration had originally envisioned boosters for all adults, but faced a stinging setback in September when the FDA's scientific advisors rejected extra Pfizer doses for everyone. The panel wasn't convinced that young, healthy people needed another dose, particularly when most of the world's population remains unvaccinated, and instead recommended boosters just for certain groups. In more national news, Astroworld death spurs calls for independent review. The deaths of 8 people and a crush of fans at a music festival have led to calls for an independent, outside investigation instead of one by the Houston police, who along with the fire department played a key role in crowd control and other safety measures at the show. Experts in crowd safety say an investigation by neutral outsiders into the tragedy during Friday night's performance by Travis Scott could help the city avoid potential conflicts of interest and promote transparency. Houston Police Department spokeswoman declined to comment on whether the department's close involvement in the event created a conflict or if it was considering handling the probe off to an outside agency. Key questions remain unanswered after the Astroworld Festival at the Harris County-owned NRG Park. Some involved with the Houston Police and Fire Departments did before, during, and after a crowd surged toward the stage, killing 8 people and injuring many more, with over 300 people treated on site and at least 13 others hospitalized. Other questions center on the action of the event organizers. In more national news, despite reopening, the U.S. is still closed to many in the world. The U.S. says it is inviting the global community to visit now that the government has ended the ban on travelers from 33 countries. In reality, however, it will still be difficult, if not impossible, for much of the globe to enter the country, and experts say it will take years for travel to fully recover. For starters, half the world isn't vaccinated, and therefore doesn't meet the U.S. requirement for visiting foreigners. So while many Europeans may now be able to come in, people from poorer countries where vaccines are scarce remain cut off, with limited exception. For some public health experts, that raises ethical questions about the policy. The concern is not limiting access based on vaccination status, the Deputy Director of Public Health in the Berman Institute of Bioethics at Johns Hopkins University said on Tuesday. It is that it's systematically making it impossible for people, generally from poor countries, whose governments have been unable to secure anything near the supply they need, to be able to come and see their loved one. In business news, stocks end lower on Wall Street, ending 8-day winning streak. Stocks ended moderately lower on Tuesday, ending their 8-day winning streak for the market that had been fueled by strong company earnings and economic data. The S&P 500 lost 16 points, or 0.4%, to close at 4,685. The last time the S&P 500 had 8 straight days of gains was April 2019. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 112 points, or 0.3%, ending at 36,320, and the Nasdaq lost 96 points or 0.6%, to close at 15,887. And finally, in entertainment news, Dean Stockwell of Quantum Leap and Blue Velvet dies at 85. Dean Stockwell, a top Hollywood child actor who gained new success in middle age in the sci-fi series Quantum Leap and in a string of performances in film, including David Lynch's Blue Velvet and Married to the Mob, has died. Jay Swartz, a family spokesperson, said Stockwell died of natural causes at his home on Sunday. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Let go of judgments. To judge is to think you are better than others. To believe you know what is right and other people are wrong is a form of control you use, possibly without even being aware of it. Judgments are taught through the erroneous societal teachings you learn. None of us want to be judged by others, so why do we judge each other? Most people are not even aware they are judging someone else. I like to believe every person is doing the best they can. It might not look like it to you. You do not have to agree with what they are doing, and in that moment in their life, that was the best they could do. Hopefully, this person will learn and do better in the future. How about you? Can you stop judging? Can you do better? Today, be aware of anyone or any situation you judge. As you go about to, enjoy the day.
Author Sharon M. Draper is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Best-selling author Sharon M. Draper joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her amazing new book, Out of My Heart. Here's a bit of our conversation.
I love this book, Sharon. I'm so glad I got a chance to get an early read of it. And of course, so many people, as you even noted in the book, you know, of course, they fell in love with Melody, with Out of My Mind. What has it been like for you to see the way that this character, of all your characters, has really resonated?
I've received literally hundreds of letters from young people and adults about, I need to know more about Melody, what happened to Melody. And for 10 years, I said, no, I'm done. Sometimes the character just has to live in our hearts forever, and that's it. But since we had this time down, you know, during the pandemic, and Melody kept speaking to me louder and louder, and she said, people need to know more about where I am and what I'm doing. So that's why I wrote it.
Yeah. Sharon, do you feel like there's a lot of yourself in Melody? And I wanted to ask you, tell you why I asked that question. The thing that struck me about Melody, even in Out of My Mind, and we see it in Out of My Heart, is that she did not allow her self-imposed limitations to stop her. Do you see that in yourself as well?
I try. I'm like everybody else, and I've got lots and lots of human frailties and fears. And, you know, I know how to cry. So I think because I've had difficulties in my life and because I have learned how to cry, I can write empathetically about a character who has difficulties. Different, but still, you have to, you know, find a character that people can connect to and be empathetic with.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. But we'll have you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.